What do you do when you're triggered? When something has happened and it's triggered a strong emotional reaction, whether that's creating anger or frustration or shame or blame or guilt or something you can't even put your finger on? Well, my name is Rashmir, and I am going to share three concrete things, three concrete tips for you to try the next time you are triggered. Now, before I share the tips, let me just say one thing that will help put the triggering into perspective. It happens to all of us. It doesn't matter how much inner work you've done. It doesn't matter how strong a contemplative practice you have, or if you meditated for an hour in the morning, right? I've done all of those things and I still get triggered from time to time. And in fact, it happened to me earlier today, which is what prompted this video. So, first of all, recognize that it's normal. It's part of the human experience. And when we recognize it, rather than reacting from that place, from those difficult emotions, we can instead choose whether or not to act. And if we choose to act, we can do so from a place of conscious, calm, wise presence. So, and once we recognize that we've been triggered, what do we do? So here are your three tips. The first one, super easy. You've probably tried it. You've probably heard of it. Breathe. You know, that old phrase, if you're angry, don't act from that place. Take a deep breath, hold it, count to 10. There's a good reason for that, right? Something interesting happens when you do that. Try it and see if it works for you. An alternative to that, and actually what I find works better for me, is to start to become aware of our breath, maybe follow it in and out a few times, and then consciously elongate the breath. Notice your posture too. You know, if you're a bit slumped or you're a bit tight or you're a bit, tense, consciously try to relax your posture, straighten your back, pop your shoulders back a little bit, put your hands on your belly and really kind of feel into the breath coming into the belly, consciously, not forcing, but consciously elongating the breath so your breath is deep into your belly. That's very powerful because you're shifting your physical state and you're allowing the breath to help calm and center you. And when you change your physical state, it can shift your emotional state. So breathing deeply into the belly is incredibly powerful. Now, so breathing is your first tip. The second tip then is walking away. And this could be walking away from the situation or the trigger if it's an ongoing one. It could be physically getting outside and going for a walk or going and sitting in the park or in the sun. And that gives you perspective, right? Because it gives you distance. It gets you out of the environment that was triggering or the thing that was triggering. So that can be incredibly powerful. And of course, when you're out in nature, you're allowing nature to do its work. If you're walking too, that can help center and ground you so that you can then choose whether and how to respond and what an appropriate course of action is next. So the third tip then is to talk with friends. And it's incredibly useful to talk with friends or with trusted colleagues because, of course, we can just get stuff off our chest. And we all need a place to vent from time to time, especially if we haven't had a chance to process or digest whatever it was that happened that triggered us. Now, the key here, however, is make sure when you're talking with friends or trusted colleagues that you are talking to people who won't re-trigger you or who won't get involved in the drama because it connects to something in their own lives or because they're drama-oriented people and they want more of the drama, right? Because that's counterproductive. You want to talk to people that will allow you to vent, that will listen, that will hold space, but that won't amp up the triggering events or the emotions that you're feeling, but instead will allow for them to dissipate as you are talking with them. So that's your three tips. Breathe, walk away, preferably into nature if possible, and talk with friends. And let me give you a final bonus tip because it's actually my favorite thing to do and it may or may not be yours. And that is find a reason to laugh. It's laughter, a little bit like crying. Like crying is often a release of energy, and laughter is the same. It can really rapidly shift our physical and our mental and our emotional state. So find a way to laugh. Go talk to a friend that makes you laugh, or watch a comedy program that it always makes you laugh, or look for the humor in the situation. Maybe even catch yourself thinking about and fuming, and call yourself out on it and say, there you go again. Just find a way to bring humor into play, and that can make a tremendous difference. And again, give us space and distance and allow those difficult feelings to kind of process and pass through us. So that's it for my tips on what to do when you are triggered. I hope that you found it useful. If so, please do press like and share this with anyone that you think would be useful. I would appreciate that. And of course, it would help get the word out to more people that might need to hear the tips in this video. Thanks very much.